Okay.
I can't criticize it because it's you and it's your personal situation. So I can't deep dive into it. I can't follow up with questions. It's not
You
fair.
can. I don't mind.
No, Mika, you know I'm not gonna do that.
I wouldn't offer something up that I didn't mind talking about.
No, Mika, I'm not gonna do that. It's an unfair thing to do because you know I'm not gonna go down that path, even if I can. No, we could
Okay.
use and we could use statistics, but anecdotal experience when you're talking about something in general, you using one example does not substantiate the argument when it comes to men versus women being more loyal in general. Women absolutely think about provision as it relates to themselves. Well, what happens to me if anything happens to you? That's how women think about provision. They don't think about, oh my God, what would you do if anything happens to me? They just like, they don't care about that shit at all. Women, in a general sense, are always about self preservation. Women love conditionally. That is just the honest to God truth. Women love conditionally. It is based off of how well they are in a situation, how well they can be taken care of, what happens to me, all of that type of stuff. Don't think for 1 second that they are not focused on self-preservation. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I mean, if it's something different, then explain it to me. But
I
I don't
mean,
see.
but don't women? I mean, but I hear I hear men say that as well, as far as like from the provision standpoint. They're like, I want to make sure that you can, because we belong to the man once we're married, like we belong to him. So anything that you guys usually care about, you love, like it's yours, you want to protect it. You want to make sure it's running right. Things are going well. So it's not the same because we,
And
we don't
women
we don't have
women
the,
want to make sure that the man
but we
is
don't,
making
but
sure that
Anton,
they
we don't
take
have the
care of
same,
you.
we're not the same. So
I
we don't.
agree. And I'm not saying that y'all should be the same. I'm just answering Oot Milk's question. And that there is no lifelong loyalty when it comes to women. It's just self-preservation. And her loyalty is as long as she's in a good space and she's taken care of. It's all that's the loyalty. That's the extent of her loyalty. And she may even stick around when y'all going through stuffing, but it's a limit to that too. It's how long am I gonna suffer with you until you get yourself back together? And I'm not saying that anything is wrong with it. It's just the way that it is. But her loyalty is conditional, always. It's always conditional. Whereas our loyalty is from the start in most situations because we'll take you when you ain't even got shit. We'll take y'all from nothing and bring y'all along with us. And
Okay,
then
so
make
let
sure
me
that
ask
y'all
you that
taking
then.
and then make sure that y'all taking care of if anything ever happens to us.
So why
And,
don't
y'all- and,
so
and
why
let's
don't
be
men like
clear.
Kevin
Hold
Hart
on, hold on. And let's be clear.
Right.
stay
And let's
loyal?
be clear. And let's be clear. Us taking care of you and us making sure that you're taken care of after or in an event anything ever happens to us is undeserved. It's not like y'all did anything to deserve that. You didn't earn it. You didn't do anything special. It's not that you're any different than any other woman. You're not necessarily earning anything. You're not earning the thing that he's doing. You're just there and being the recipient of what it is that he's doing for you. When a woman says this is what makes a man great, it has nothing to do with the woman. It has everything to do with why he's great on his own. And that's why women want men at the finish line is because of self-preservation.
So wait a minute. So when you marry a woman and you decide to have a legacy with her, you you don't you don't look at childbearing or any of that as anything of value.
What do you mean?
Meaning, okay, again, you're a man, a woman is a woman. You have two different jobs, you have two different goals in the
Mhm.
relationship.
Mhm.
The woman is not doing what the man does. The man brings a different value because he has a different purpose. So
In some situations, sometimes they both
in
work.
all situations, the man
Sometimes they
has a
both
different
work.
purpose and a different
Sometimes they
goal
both
than the
work.
woman.
It's not no relationship is the same. We put in standards of what we want and what we think relationships should be versus what relationships are. Every relationship is not the man is making a bunch of money and the woman is able to just chill.
I
It's
wasn't talking about money. I was talking about purpose. I said the man's purpose and the woman's purpose are two different things.
okay.
They're not
Okay.
the
So what
same
are
in
you
a
saying?
relationship.
What are you
So if
saying?
they're not the same in a relationship, how can you expect for for anything to be equal? Because it's never going to be equal. You can't have
I
children,
never said
and
that it was going to
so
be
you
equal,
can't
Mika.
bear that, and I can't protect and provide because I'm not a man.
I never
There's
said that
nothing
it
that
was
I'm
going to
going
be
to do to
equal,
be able to cover a man.
Mika. I never said it was ever going to be equal. We talking about loyalty. We're talking about loyalty. So a man holding a woman down versus a woman holding a man down, and the man will hold the woman down much more fervently than a woman will hold the man down. And in the event that something happens, a woman would move on much faster. As a matter of fact, we could just prove that just by women filing for divorce. A woman is not willing to stick it out longer than a man is with a woman. A man will wait for a woman to eventually get divorced or be available for him and will wait a lifetime and then will take her on. A woman will never do that. When we talk about loyalty, this ain't even a competition. It's men over women 10 times out of 10. And I'm not complaining about it because I understand that that's just the game. I don't think that women is even capable of it. I don't even know if that's your role. But let's be very clear. A man's loyalty is 10 times more than a woman ever would. So if you asking me what truly earns a woman's lifelong loyalty, her death before his and hope that they don't get divorced. And if I'm off, proof, tell me. Tell me where I'm off at.
Can I say something off topic?
No, man, no. And it's cool. It's cool. Like I get it. Like I understand that. You know,
I just think, besides the toxic, stupid women, like take that out of the equation because a lot of the times when we like to have these conversations, we're not talking about it from sane people. What I'm saying is, it's just that I think a lot of the times we never just focus on the fact that it's never going to be equal. And I think sometimes women women or I should say society will want to see women a certain way, and it's just like, why don't you take them for what they are, just like women should take men for what they are. They're not going to be this, so stop trying to make them this, and women are not going to be this, so stop trying to make them this. And if you actually go at relationships from that standpoint, I think relationships will last 10 times longer than trying to make something that's not.
relationships last as long as you are a producer, and try not to have long lulls in between your production. Try not to be laid off for too long. Try not to be trying to get yourself back on your feet.
And this is why I can't bring any anecdotal stuff in because nobody in my family is divorced. Not one person.
And nobody in my
So I
family is
don't look
divorced
at this
either,
the
and it doesn't
same.
make it
It's
any
just I
less true.
don't look at it the same. I don't.
No,
Because
in my family's divorced
healthy
either.
relationships, I see it. I just
Fam,
Also,
see
no
it.
one in my family is
listen,
married. So
listen, listen, listen.
you can't get a divorce if you don't get married. Think smarter, not harder.
Tom Brady,
What are you talking about?
Giselle left Tom Brady. The nigga is damn near fucking perfect.
That nigga's hair is on point.
He got a full head of hair right now.
Okay.
And
The
a strong
nigga's the
jawline.
greatest quarterback of all time.
I agree. We had that conversation. I agree.
That has nothing to do with the marriage.
But I
Yes,
was
it
talking
does.
about
You have to
No, it
wake up to
doesn't.
if you wake up to a nigga
That
with
has
solid
nothing to
hair,
do with
nigga, what you
that
mean?
has nothing to do with the marriage. And just the other night when y'all just last night when y'all were talking about the whole living in the car thing, you were coming at me and Kim for us saying we would stay with our husband, and you're like, no, leave. You need to go.
See,
So
and
now you're saying
this is how I know you're not a good listener.
I
Is
no don't
because
no. I listened. I was listening
this is
very,
how I know
very
you're not a
intently.
good listener. What I was saying is that I don't care if you huff and puff. It ain't gonna change nothing. What
I
I
don't
was
know.
saying, what I was saying is that it is much more difficult for a man to get himself together, and they never going and struggle love is not the thing. And so you saying that you're gonna continue to be there doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing him a favor. If he said,
We're not
hey,
talking
stay
about a
out the way
favor.
until I get myself together, it's much more difficult to carry both of y'all when we pour. That don't have nothing to
We're
do with
talking about
what we talk. That don't have
yes,
nothing to
it
do with what
does.
we talking
That's
about tonight.
Anton, you just said make sure that don't stay down too long, don't stay unemployed, or whatever between
It's a
jobs
fact.
too long. So you're implying that
What that got to
if
do
a
with us
man
having sex in an Altima?
you're implying that if a man stays down too long, the woman is no longer going to be loyal. We were saying we would be loyal while he's down, and you said y'all shouldn't do that. Those are
No,
two. Yes,
the circumstance was different. What I said is we can't be sleeping in an Altima because you actually make it more. It's hard for me to protect you when we sleeping in a car. That's what we was having a conversation about. I can't protect you if you sleeping in a goddamn Altima. That is a whole nother conversation than what we talking about right now.
it is not. But because you say it
It's
is,
not.
it is. Because you say it is, it is.
It's not. It's not. That's not a different situation.
No, it's not a different situation. That's a clear
Okay.
example of somebody
All right.
being, especially given what you just said.
Okay.
You just made a woman's loyalty seem contingent upon a man's ability to provide for her in a certain type of a way. That's
Correct.
how you just sounded. And
That's
I'm
true.
saying that the example that y'all were talking about last night was a clear example of how a woman could and would be loyal when the situation is not ideal.
Listen, it's a reason why they
And
say a loyal.
you said that the woman is a crackhead if she stays. That's exactly what you said. You said the woman is a crackhead if she stays.
Keri, it's a reason why they say that a woman's loyalty is tested when a man has nothing, and a man's loyalty is tested when he has everything. That statement is no, it's a very,
Where are
very,
we?
very true statement.
Stay where I just was.
I stayed where you was, and it's a completely different situation. What me and Slimmy were saying yesterday, I don't even know where Slimmy is right now. I think he's taking a nap. Where me
No,
and
I'm right
Slimmy,
here.
why you ain't on camera, Slimmy?
I don't know.
That's so rude.
His bonnet messed up.
oh wow.
I was just listening.
What Slimmy and I were talking about yesterday is that it's difficult for a man to be able to do the things that he do when he have to carry two people and they living under a bridge or they sleeping in an Altima. That's specifically the situation that we were speaking of. That
That's
we don't
fine.
even
I'm
feel
sorry.
like we a man if we got to go and shower inside of the gym. That the conversation that we were having yesterday had nothing to do with loyalty. It had nothing to do with loyalty at all. It was a conversation where we said, listen, you shouldn't even be in a relationship and you should not be dating if you're sleeping in your car. And so we're using very extreme situations now to try to substantiate our argument. Today, I'm talking about loyalty, and we're using a different reference point, and we're using the whole Charlie Kirk situation, basically a man passing away. And
You just asked. See, you keep switching this because first you said, can we get away from the Charlie Kirk thing? And then
That's the original reference point, because this is Scoop Milk's question. It's not my question.
And then I said, okay, if we get away from Charlie Kirk, are we talking about somebody who is still here or they've passed away? And you said, it's not my question. It's
so
whatever,
we can use both.
right? So then you guys started. So then you and Mika started talking, and you all were talking as if the man and the woman were both still alive.
Okay,
am I correct, Mika?
Did y'all eventually
talk like both people were still here?
We could use both. And the argument that I'm making is that women still leave and divorce the majority of the time in a relationship if a man is alive, and a woman is going to be more likely to move on if she can get somebody else, depending on how old she is and what her circumstance is, for survival.
And what I'm saying is, based off of what I heard you say tonight, in my opinion, that negates what was said in reference to the woman yesterday. I'm not talking about how the man feels with being in the car. I'm talking about from the perspective of the woman and loyalty. That if a woman chooses to, in my opinion, if her husband is living in a car and she chooses to, I'm thugging it out with you, to me, that is a sign of loyalty, which according to you tonight, women don't do that. According to you tonight, women, you only got but so much time to be down and out, and they gonna leave you. Last night, though, we were crackheads if we chose to stay and be loyal. So now, to me, you're negating yourself.
So let me speak to your situation. All right. I'm gonna be very, very clear for you. You saying, hey, I want to stay down for you is absolutely commendable, Keri. All right. I still don't think that a man should let a woman come and sleep in a car with him. All right. That's just a manly thing. However, let's assume for the sake of conversation that you and Kim would hold a man down. How many of y'all do you think would actually do that? Because you're an awesome woman. And this is why I say we can't use anecdotal experience. This is why I said Mika shouldn't use their own personal situation of what they would do, which is why I'm not using that as a reference point. Because if we did use it as a reference point, the minute that a man ended up inside of his car, I have a hard time believing that the majority of women would actually hold him down.
So this is where I agree with Mika in that a lot of times when we have these conversations, the reference point, the pool of women that we seem to be picking from are these women who don't have any of the characteristics that we, according to you all, have. And as wonderful as I like to think I am, and as wonderful as I like to think all the rest of the women are, we're not an anomaly. Like I know I think more of the women that I personally know would be down for their men because I've witnessed it than not. And I'm not saying that
I've witnessed women that are in situations where they man got everything and they cheating.
That's fine. So you can't,
wait. You can't convince me that more women are more likely to hold men down when women cheat when men are on top.
But Anton, like it's difficult for you to.
If you want to keep using reference points, we just fucking did a review video a little bit before that of the woman that was saying that she a single mother and she was married to the baseball player that had everything. And she's sitting there telling the internet about how she is a single mother. Is that loyalty? Because y'all criticized her for coming on the internet and saying that in the first place.
I don't know her. She was on the internet. That's my point. So Keri, your reference
how was it any different than you don't know the person that's in the car?
No, Anton, what I'm saying is just like apparently for you, your reference point, because you just said that you used a reference point earlier when you were talking to Mika of people that you know. So maybe the women you know are more inclined to be these deadbeat, horrible women. But what if that's not our reference point? So either nobody can use reference points, or we all have to accept the fact that we have different reference points and everybody's not the same way. Like, Like I
Keri,
said,
you can use
I know
whatever
more
reference point you want. I don't have to accept your reference point if I don't believe that it refers to the majority. You don't have to accept my reference point. And it doesn't matter about how you feel or how I feel. The reality is that we know that women leave the majority of their relationships, and the majority of the time they leave, most divorces are because of what? Money.
Yeah, but
It's
that
not for
see, but now,
hold on, hold on. It's not for
but now
it's not for
you've now put.
infidelity. It's not for any of these things. Most divorces happen because of money, and most of women file for the divorces.
But nobody is talking that. This is again why I asked when we remove the Charlie Kirk example, which is clear because we're talking about lifelong loyalty to someone who has passed. This is why I asked, are we talking about people who are still present, like they're married, or somebody has passed? Because now you've now brought up divorce statistics. Nobody's
Keri, all right,
arguing. Nobody's arguing that women
cool,
don't file
Keri.
for divorce more than men. That's not my
Keri, let me ask you
argument.
a question. Let me ask you a question very directly.
Yes.
Since y'all want to use personal anecdotal experiences, God forbid that anything was to ever happen in your situation, you getting remarried?
I told you I don't see me getting married
Would
for
you
a
ever get
long
in another
time.
relationship, Keri?
Eventually I could get into another relationship maybe, but
So much for anecdotal experience.
I
But
honestly, you
hold on.
won't even
So
let
much
me
for
finish.
anecdotal
But
You
experience.
remember when
you
I asked when I said, okay, if
yes,
that's
I
the
can't
question,
answer.
do you think on the flip side, and you said men are more loyal, right?
No.
And what I hear,
Let's
hold on,
hold
and what I
on.
hear men
Let's
say
hold
a lot of
on.
times
Let's
they
deal
want.
with one situation at a time. One thing at a time. Because y'all want to make it anecdotal. I tried to keep it very general. How many of y'all are never getting in a relationship again if your situation changes?
You didn't even let me answer the question.
Okay, I'm sorry, Keri. Go
Are
ahead
you
and answer the
asking me
question.
or are you asking Keri?
I'm asking Keri specifically.
Oh, okay.
So like I said, I honestly I can't see me getting remarried right now. Like in my mind, if God forbid something happened in the right now moment, I can't see that happening, especially because I have such young children. Like my focal point would shift and focus on them, and that will be that. Now, I also am not going to I don't know. Like once they're older and I'm in my 60s and my 70s, I don't know. So I wouldn't say that I absolutely would go to my grave not having had another relationship. But my argument was never that
So you're not
women.
going to answer the question.
I did
It's a
answer
yes.
the question.
Usually the
I
way
don't
that.
have a yes or no. I don't have a yes or no.
Okay, cool. I
But that
appreciate
was
you
never my
answering.
argument. Like I mean, like that was
Keri,
never
that's the
my
question right
position.
there at the bottom of the screen. Y'all wanted to your argument was to then use anecdotal experience to
The
substantiate your
question says,
argument,
what
and you
truly
reference
earns a
specifically
woman's lifelong loyalty?
your argument. What you tried to use as your argument is anecdotal experience and anecdotal answers that you gave the other night to try to say or substantiate your argument. So now when I ask you
With
directly,
two
okay,
people
would you
be
or
no,
it's
Anton,
funny
no, no,
because
no,
you
no,
always
no,
want me
no,
to let
no.
you answer, but
No,
go
no,
ahead.
no, no,
Go ahead.
no.
Do your
I
thing.
listen, I ain't running. I'm here. But what I just used the example from last night, both people are still alive and in the relationship with one another. I specifically brought that up because you and Mika were going back and forth about if a man was more loyal than a woman, with them both still being in a relationship, them both being present. That's different. I gave you what I think it would be if somebody passed away.
In life or in death, I don't think that a woman is not going to move on, is what I'm saying. Majority of women. I'm not even
And that's
speaking, I'm not even
God.
speaking on anyone on this panel or anyone in this discussion. In life and death, I believe that a woman is going to move on. And I've seen it time and time. Not only have I seen it, I've seen women be disloyal, so much so to the point to where they start using another man's life insurance money and the resources that he left her in order to take care of another man. And I even gave you the reference points. I seen chicks get niggas' teeth fixed. I seen them let men stay in the house that they got left behind by the man that they used to be with. I done seen all kind of shit. And so,
but the thing that's
if we
interesting
want
that
to
when
use anecdotal experience, then we can go there too, because women remarry all the time right after they get done crying.
Can I ask you a question, Anton, really quick? What makes, and just so we know, what makes a man disloyal?
I don't know if that was a question, but in life or in death?
In life and death, what makes a man disloyal?
You gotta go one or the other.
Okay. In life, what makes a man disloyal?
Not taking care of his chick.
So if he says that, or if they, because some people are religious, and they say, they're only gonna, be with each other, and then they're not with each other. Is he still loyal, or?
Where did that say that? Where did they say that at the altar?
I said some people are religious. I didn't specify a religion. I said some people are religious, so they are only going to be with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like people have vows.
I think that a man is disloyal when he don't take care of his girl.
So as long as he's taking care of her, he can sleep with whoever he wants on her, but he's still loyal?
No, that's not what I said.
That's just like one component of it.
Why they always adding words into my mouth? I ain't say nothing about that.
I'm trying to narrow it down.
That ain't have nothing to do with what I said. That is not what I said.
I didn't hear what you said. Go ahead. What you said?
How do you narrow something down to add?
No, because he said as long as a man is taking care of his woman, then
no, she said what makes a man. She said what makes a man loyal. I said he got to take care of his woman.
Right, and then she said, what about when they've agreed to be with each other and then they're not with each other? Is that still loyal?
She said some people in religion, because some religions, and I'm assuming that she said that because everybody don't believe the same.
Right. Yeah, that's why I just left it at religion, because everybody's not the same.
Right.
So that's why I said, what makes a man disloyal, though? Just by his nature, what makes a man disloyal?
If he doesn't take care of his woman. If he is not providing, protecting, if he doesn't take care of his woman, if he doesn't meet his obligations when it comes to his family.
So if he's doing that, but he's cheating, is he still loyal?
It depends on the dynamics of the relationship.
A lot of men would say yes. A lot of men I have heard separate the two.
It depends on what they agree to in their relationship. I think that every relationship is different.
Well, yeah. Well, I did state that in the beginning.
If his word to her is, listen, I will not talk to anybody, and I am not talking to anybody, and he decides to go and talk to somebody else against his word, then yes, he is being disloyal at that moment.
Okay, I just asked the question because different men say different things, so this helps put into perspective of what women who are given lifelong loyalty should expect on this side, and then now you know. So okay, well, that works. All right, I just wanted to know.
Kim, any more questions?
No, I was just getting clarification on Mika's question.
And I still stand on the fact that I think that you can't, for the overwhelming majority, well above the 90th percentile, I don't think that you ever earn a woman's lifelong loyalty. Ever. Can you find a diamond in the rough, a needle in the haystack? Can you find you a Keri?
You don't even know 90% of the women on the earth, Anton. So how can you make that statement?
Even if you find you a Keri, it ain't guaranteeing you a lifelong loyalty.
Yo, y'all are hilarious.
Don't believe it.
This is like being
Don't
at your
believe it.
family's cookout events. You
Listen,
didn't
I
fall.
don't care what movie star she look like, Sanaa Lathan, all of that. I don't care how much lemon water she drink.
Anton moves all the points around. You're like, this is sad because my dad, I'm sure it's on personal with y'all. My dad, his cognitive functioning is a little shaky. We're working on it. And he was playing chess with my husband. And you know how chess ends. You have to take the king, right? So my husband took the king, took my dad's king, and or said, what do you say, checkmate?
Mm-hmm.
Check. Okay, so he said that, and my dad was like, "So what?" And you're supposed to move your piece so that you can get your king out of checkmate. And my dad didn't do that, so my husband took the king. So we're like, game over. My dad's like, "I don't care. Let's keep playing." We're like, we can't keep playing because the game is over. Like Anton, you're like that. Like
What?
you just keep moving. Like you're voiding all the rules. You're like, whatever. It don't matter if the king's off the board, the queen. We just playing till I say we're done playing. I'm gonna keep moving the pieces, changing the rules. We just gonna play Anton's chess.
Keri,
You tell us we
Keri,
can't use anecdotal data, then you be like, I know plenty of women. Mika's like, I know. Oh, Mika gonna use her family. I'm about to call Rita. Mika, don't use personal stuff. Wait, let me call my mom. Wait, like it's cute though, Anton. It's cute.
So Keri, basically what you're saying, Keri, right now is you don't like the outcome. Because even in your analogy, I would be your husband and you would be your father. That's what my translation of the whole conversation is.